I got my new thing imported. I got the Christian Dior. They wanna look at the foreign. They couldn't even afford it. Look what I did with the bag. Look what I did with the bag. I got a thing in the back, and I ain't taking no chat. I got my new thing imported. I got the Christian Dior. They wanna look at the foreign. They couldn't even afford.
Follow us on Instagram at Express Truth Show.
Welcome back, people. It's the Express Truth Show, making Thursdays great again. And before we do anything today, I want to say a big shout out to the Patreon crew, Spotify crew, iTunes crew, Mixcloud crew, and the website crew. And with that being said, people, do not forget to check out our website, www.expresstruthshow.com. Now, we got a special guest in the building, man. You know, I'm all about documenting legendary stuff in Birmingham, man. And, you know, the only way to kick it off is bringing in, you know, there's a lot of men who planted trees, you know what I mean, back in the day. And a lot of other people are sitting in the shade right now, which is a good thing. But I want to, you know, have a conversation with this brother. It's well overdue. So, Malik.
Yes, my brother. What's good?
What's going on, man?
I'm here, man. Still in the city, still working hard, man.
Yeah, man.
I see man doing their thing, man. We had to hook up.
Most definitely, man. It's well overdue, Malik.
Well overdue.
Well overdue, man. So I basically want to, on this episode, yeah, I want to just get into your mind. There's a lot of stuff. You've been doing this thing. For how long you been rapping, Malik?
I started rapping when I was about 16, 17, like going on tracks, going into the studio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm past 40 now. My birthday Friday.
Yeah, man. Proper. So I want to take it from the start, man. I want you to paint the pictures. Tell me what life was like in Brum back then. Just take it from the start, man. Where was you born and what was life like growing up for you?
Well, I'm from Smethwick originally. Born Dudley Road Hospital, City Hospital. So grew up in Smethwick. Smethwick was actually a bit mad back in the 80s or whatever. So I grew up in them times, still racist times as well. Yeah. Yeah, like as a black, if you walk in certain roads or go certain places, say if a work van's passing, they'll shout at you, "You monkey" or something. Yeah. So it was still in that kind of day that I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a musical family. Because my granddad died when I was mad young, and there was my grandma and 10 kids and grandkids in a big house. Yeah. So and all the kids were teenagers. So my yard, the yard I grew up in, was all music. And because my nan was the only elder in the house, and it was all teenagers and people in the early 20s, I got to see a lot of stuff culturally. You know what I mean? Music, like even movies that I was watching adult movies as a kid because I was one of the youngest. So Scarface, all of those things I watched when they come out as a kid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I got to school, I didn't even, kids were talking about shows and I never knew no shows were talking about Scooby-Doo, none of that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So culturally and musically, my mind was older than what it was because I was listening and taking in stuff that my uncles was into.
So what type of stuff was that, like reggae, ska?
Yeah, my uncle was in a reggae band. I got like two of my uncles was in a reggae band. My other uncles like played instruments. We had a like in the attic. We basically had a studio. Yeah. So when I would come home from school, I hear a band playing. My uncle's a drummer that he was playing for different bands as well. You know what I'm saying? So I had an uncle that was into pop music. Like more kind of pop music, so Phil Collins and all that kind of stuff. It was all there. I could just go into a room and put headphones on and listen to anything I want to do. And my cousin, who's 4 years older than me, he introduced me to hip hop. I remember when he played me NWA. I think it was Straight Outta Compton, the first song I ever heard from them. Or the Big Daddy Kanes, early when I was like 6, 7 years old. This man was giving me music, and he gave me his old Walkman when he got a new Walkman for his birthday. Give me an old one that had taped up headphones, and I had access to all the music in the house, anything that was on tape. So I knew hip hop albums, like Eazy-E's first album, word for word, at like 8, 9 years old.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? And because it's headphones, my parents don't even know what I'm listening to.
Okay. So did that kind of, by getting into that type of music so early, did that age you faster than you reckon?
Nah, I wouldn't say it aged me faster. Don't get me wrong, when I got into my teenagers, like by the time I got to 18, 19, and then I was on road doing certain things, I realized stuff that certain man was saying in those songs back in the day and talking about 80s and whatever. Yeah. These things started to happen here now in the 90s. So I kind of saw it as, it didn't grow me up fast, but like I saw certain things, I heard certain things before I saw it in life. Okay. And when you say certain things, what type of things are we talking about? The crack era in New York? Yeah. Then just like in LA. So a lot of LA music I listen to. So I saw it as, this is entertainment because I'm a youth. I'm not living that life. Yeah. This is just entertainment. So when I started to get out there from like 15, 16 and I'm going out places on my own, and I was a person, being from Smethwick, I was a man that I'll go, if I hear about something that's going on anywhere, a park in Small Heath, I'll go. Yeah. And know the mans ain't going with me, and I'll go on my Todd, and I'll go Handsworth Park, I'll go Lizelle's on my Todd back in the day. Yeah. And go to different arcades where back in the day, playing Street Fighter 2 was a risk to your health. Hold on a minute. I mean, hold on, in preparation, but we talk about night spot. I'm talking about any spot when Young Burgers was doing their thing. Just to be real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of era, I was just out there and got my face out there, and it kind of, it just got me, everything got me ready to be an artist and a MC. From growing up in the house I grew up in, to having the freedom of art in my yard, of music and that. Okay, that's proper, man. That's proper. So, black people at the time in Birmingham, I know you've mentioned the racial element already. What else was it like? Like, can you give me a setting? What was the community like at that time for people that weren't there? Yeah, I remember the community was strong in the way of, I just remember I mostly remember Smethwick, but I remember going to Handsworth, Lizelle's, visiting certain people, and like seeing the community spirit there as well. And we had a bigger community spirit where you have to say, hello, mom, to the elders. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're doing certain things, any elder knows you. You know what I mean? They'll say something. So that was still there. People nodded to each other just in general, just to say, well, go on. So it's safe to say that there was a community, there was more of a community spirit at that time. Yeah. Okay. So so there's a stage in my life, and it was that when I was a youth. Then there's a stage in my life where I'm looking at a man who look exactly like me, who dress exactly like me, like, what? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just a thing every day after a while. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, there was a change in youth culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, at this time, Malik, at this exact time, because we're building the picture all the way. Yeah. What was the music scene like? I'm talking about rap. The rap scene. In the UK? There was, in the UK, there was like people like Rodney P and London Posse and that. Yeah. Because I remember watching them on Yo MTV Raps. And they was on Yo MTV Raps. They had their video on there. And it was the original with Fab Five Freddy, Yo MTV Raps. Yeah. And he came to London. And he was in London with them. You know what I'm saying? He'd done an interview. And that was the first time I seen a UK rapper like on the TV. Yeah. So there was them. There was the guy named Rebel MC that was doing a lot of stuff. There was other people in London that I didn't know about. One, I was young, and I wasn't in London. But there was people like Caveman. There was a group called Hijack.
Yeah.
All these people are before my time. I never got to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I knew about them from like research, or my older cousins who talked about them or whatever.
Yeah.
So there was a scene, and there was a guy named Silver Bullet.
Okay.
Yeah. 20 Seconds to Comply. Yeah. So, and we had like fast dance type hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had fast dance type hip hop. Remember Norm had a show called Dance Energy. Yeah.
Okay.
And our style was very like ragga hip hop type. Yeah, it was that at that time.
And I'm guessing that the majority, I recognize a few names there, but I'm guessing that the majority were from London.
Yeah. I think the first Birmingham rapper I've ever heard of was a guy named Cash Rex.
Cash Rex?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Handsworth. And I heard him on the radio.
Yeah.
When I was a youth, and he had his tunes playing. And this was the time of like Redman, EPMD, like early 90s, like 91, 92. And I remember being a youth. I can remember certain times, and I remember that as the first time I heard a Birmingham rapper on the radio playing his tunes.
Okay, and what was the response like to him? Because what I'm trying to basically get at is, was it something what sparked your decision to take it serious?
What sparked my decision is after a while, a group called MSI.
Yeah.
MSI and Asylum. There was a group that was before MD7. Okay. So they kind of after Cash Rex's era, and they came just before like MD7. So this is before. I'm not a rapper these times or nothing.
Okay.
And I don't even really know about these. I don't really know what's going on in that kind of way. I know a couple of people, but I'm not really following it at this point. So, but MSI, they were the first like group of man to be like, they're going to London doing shows. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're rapping as well. Yeah. I've seen some London mans come to do a show, and I've seen just some of them man just grab the mic and just battle them and just mash up their show and just send them home.
Okay, so that's going on from then.
Yeah. So, MSI was the first, and there was a guy named Tactic, and the guy named H, and they were like the first two best rappers in the city.
Okay,
like you can start to have those kind of conversations. So around that time, I kind of started. You know what I mean?
Getting all the way into it.
Yeah. Just started writing. I was influenced by like at the time kind of Nas mostly. Came out the gate, introspective type rap, and then as it progressed, my style just progressed, and London caught on a lot.
Hold on a second, Malik. Hold on, I don't want to skip. Because I want to get to that. So these times, had you left school and everything by this time?
I probably just left school by this time now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so you've left school, you're getting influenced by guys that
actually meet Cypher.
Yeah.
This is before I meet Jay, but I meet Cypher when I'm leaving school around that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and like exam kind of times, and he was making beats, and he put out a song already. He put out a vinyl on his own.
Okay.
Like Cypher was a man. Do you know when you hear about like the pioneers over in States, like the early Master P's, early Dame Dashes,
yes,
where a man's doing things off his own back, finding out information, putting out stuff himself.
Yeah. So
he was pressing up the records, going out to driving to all the places around the country that sold hip hop and dropping them off personally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was doing that before I even like really got with him like that. Okay, so when did you guys decide to? Because shout out to Cypher and Jay. Yeah. When did you guys decide? Because you've met Cypher, then you met Jay. Yeah. And when did you guys say like, you know what, we can actually form a group here? How did that come about? We was in like a crew. There was like, like you always start off with like 10, 15 man. Yeah. So we started off like that. Like whoever was around, kind of spitting was in the group at first. And it was called like Lyric Born Click. There was an EP that came out. And then I worked on a project called Black Samurai.
Okay.
Where like Baby J, we met Baby J from Derby.
Okay.
He was another man he's from Derby, white geezer from Derby.
Yeah.
He found himself in New York, in Brooklyn, started to produce with some of Wu-Tang and that. You know what I'm saying? To the point where he's like living out there for a bit. Yeah, so when he comes back to Derby, he's coming with a different head. So he links us because we've just started, and then there's a project we're just working on doing verses too, but it helped shape up what MD7 was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after that, we put a group together and started to work on a single.
Okay. And then how did it start to bubble? How was it received? What was the name of the single?
It's our first like single of MD7 was, we had a 4-single EP called, it was Art of Survival.
Yeah. And
it had Art of Survival, Silent Screams on. It had 4 tunes on, but they were the 2 main tunes. And it just went from there. We done a video, and it was like nobody had done a video really. No Birmingham group had a video on. And
I want to second this.
Yeah.
In these days, you couldn't just grab the Canon or the Black Magic. You had to spend real budgets in it to get a video in it.
You can't, there was no thing of, you know how you like, I'll take it home and edit it.
None of that.
You have to book an editing suite by the hour.
Yeah.
Even this, like, when man used to first go studio, you know this, like, I'm making beats at home and we bring the beats.
Yeah.
You're booking studio to make the beats running on time. So them beats are costing you as you make. It's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was like that earlier, and then everything went digital.
So it was you had to invest in it. So like say,
you had to invest.
You, Jay, and Cypher had to take money from what else you're doing and put it into the music, innit?
Yeah. So getting records to shops. You know what I mean? You're not posting them. You know what I mean? People ain't emailing nothing. Everything's sent. Everything's physical in the hand.
So once you put this EP out and it's well received, because it's a different time. Like people, I need to make it clear that there was no Facebook. Let's just say there was no social media, none of that. So how did you market the project?
Everything was word of mouth. You have to like at that time it was book. You had to make flyers. You had to do. You remember the time? There was a time when you can walk on the street, and it'll be like Thriller, Michael Jackson Thriller, not of zombies or crackheads or anything, but people trying to sell music to you.
Yeah. What was that going on in town?
Yeah, but this came after that. But what we done is set up that kind of era.
Okay.
Where people are giving out flyers for music. People are offering CDs. You're knowing about local artists. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And whoever's the local rapper, he's got a CD out that you can buy.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, because
like that.
I remember a slight era, I'd say about mid to early 2000s. Yeah. You know that strip in town where Primark is now? Yeah. There used to be beer man out there.
Yeah, listen, Mike JLC would have...
I met him out there. That's where I met Mike JLC.
Yeah.
Boring.
But certain man like Daily still on it. You know what I mean? There's a meme, that's got... There's a black geezer high up in a tree and he just says, yo, blood, do you listen to hip hop? Yeah, and that took me back to that time.
Yeah.
Because a man will come from nowhere trying to sell CDs, sometimes his own, sometimes compilation. But it's that thought of doing the thing that the Master P way. It was that at the time.
That was the era.
Yeah.
Okay. So you put out the EP. It's well received. You got your marketing strategy. It's a different time. What happens from there? Like, is it a career that you can survive off at that time?
Nah.
Okay.
There's no this is before Tiny Temper. This is before like people even knew what to do with UK hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those people who had like one tune here and there, but it was all underground. Nobody hit the mainstream yet.
Okay.
Like that crossover, it wasn't there at the time.
Okay, so how did you recoup?
Oh, just selling the physical copies. Lucky there was magazines like Hip Hop Connection that we featured in. Places like Dark and Cold in London.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were like hip hop shops where you go there and everything's there. Artists will be there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to there and you're seeing a few rappers in there. You're finding out what's new. You know what I mean? Journalists. There was Dark and Cold magazine as well.
I remember that.
Yeah. Actually, that's where I met Estelle.
Estelle.
Yes,
Legend.
Estelle used to work for them. That's why I first met her. She had like the cane roll to the back.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we was all coming up in different places and kind of left off from there.
So what was it like as far as shows and stuff?
Now the shows were good still because people were still green to it. You know what I mean? People was like, the shows were good. There was a lot of shows. We put on our own shows.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll book Westwood. We'll book like grime artists. So we'll book Heartless Crew or we had a good relationship with Lethal B and More Fire Crew as well.
Okay.
So we'll do a lot of things together. So say if we had venues, they might have a room, we might have a room, depending, you know what I mean, or certain parts of the night or whatever.
Yeah. So
we kind of saw how grime was coming on because that was happening at the same time as us.
Okay.
So we kind of I wouldn't say we fully embraced it at the time. I was a big Dizzy fan. Like all the Sidewinders we listened to, like it was like 50 Cent, G Unit, Sidewinder, Dizzy at the same time. So you know what I mean? We embraced it like that. And we kind of embraced them when it comes to doing certain shows and things like that.
Okay. So I went to one of your shows, you know, Milton Keynes.
Yeah, that was us, Westwood, SAS.
Yes.
Who else was on it?
There was a couple. You done. It was Ram as well, packed.
Yeah.
And this was like what? This was about 06, 07?
Yeah, something like 06, 07. So we'll have to put on the big shows because it wasn't that thing where you was doing tours or the artists have got it like they have now. Okay,
so, you know, because at this time, I remember like how you guys done your thing. So I remember like you get all these CDs coming. So I'm talking once you guys started to do your thing, we'd see all these CDs coming in from a man who was just trying a thing around the time.
Yeah.
But your thing came with proper artwork, your thing like was the same as like Jay-Z album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I remember saying to myself, like, you man are really putting some money into this thing.
But as well, I have to give it to Cypher because, you know what I mean, Cypher was the brain, a lot of the brains behind, you know what I mean? Because he's already put out stuff. He's already made mistakes before we met him in that kind of way. So, you know what I mean? I have to give it to Cypher. Even with Jay's an artist, you know what I mean? He's a tattoo artist now. He was like, award-winning hair barber.
Okay.
And he's done a lot of our artwork. So.
Oh, okay. So you basically had the skill set within the team.
Within the team. Even a lot of the directions on videos and things like that, Jay was a big part of.
Making it happen.
Yeah. So MD7 was like, it was really three minds working together.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you heard a lot of Cypher's beats or a lot of my verses, it was the way things were put together, and to get it like that, it took the three minds. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So take me, what happens after that then? The first EP, you're doing shows. Were the labels not, because at this time...
Oh, we had a few talks with a few labels still, and we had a few things on the go. But with labels as well, it's probably even worse then. So you could be with a label talking for months, you know what I mean, to the point where bank details are exchanged and it could still mess up later. Or you could start something off that they have to downsize in their company or something like that. So, but a lot of the time we wanted to do things ourselves anyway.
Okay. So with it not being, because now you see, we're at an era now where...
But they didn't understand hip-hop. They couldn't even market the London artists on their in their back garden. Remember there was people like Big Brother, a group called Big...
No, I don't remember
This is
them.
Big Bro.
Oh, yeah.
So you got Big Brother. You had people like Taz.
Big up Taz. I spoke to him about a year back.
You had Iceberg Slim.
I remember Iceberg Slim.
All these people, a lot of people that came, got marketing money, but we didn't really have the follow-up. And it's not about the artists or whatever. Yeah. It was people didn't understand how to do it. And we was more making music that was more hood. So
yeah. So the commercial stuff weren't hitting, so it was hard to...
Yeah.
But so I've always wanted to ask this from back in the day for the artists of that time, because your face was out there heavy. You had videos. You were like one of the only groups like who were taking it to that level from the city. Yeah. So how did you, if you couldn't eat from it the way to live from it, how did you balance it with your work life?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, we ate from it, like shows, this and that. But and we've done a lot of traveling as well.
Oh, okay.
There's a part I missed. Before we dropped our first EP, we went States for the three of us for about, I know, a couple months.
Okay.
We stayed in Westchester Projects, and then was in Gun Hill Road, Bronx, and went to all the labels, linked people. I'm talking... I'm in a place on Fulton Ave, Church Ave, Brooklyn. Yeah. Late night, one man shop, and then at the end, all the man them come round, and everybody just spitting like late at night in Bunning. I'm in them spots. So
wicked.
That did when we came back. Yeah, from being in New York and seeing how hip hop lives. Yeah. And seeing how culture's transferred. Yeah. That's when we came back and we knew what we wanted to do to make an impact. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we seen hip hop in motion, in life, living in New York City.
So you kind of seen it from the Mecca.
Yeah. This was 1999. I seen the Twin Towers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's 1999. Yeah, I'm young in New York, yeah. So when we come back, like, we know these little things to do to transcend, to express culture, to export it. You know what I mean?
I want to pick your brain, Malik.
Go ahead,
I want to pick your brain, fam. You might not even remember.
Go ahead.
But my uncle Sifa told me this story from a youth. Yeah, and I want to get it on camera. He said he was in New York one time, and you lot was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that. He seen where you were stopping, and he says, he firms everyone and said, probably them man don't know but it's like a funny spot.
Yeah.
So he said that he's bold off now, but he seen you like a next day and you man were vexed. Saying that somebody put you in that.
No, what it was, we got there and then the place where the place we supposed to stop was it was messed up.
Okay.
So for one night we had to stay in one place. I can't remember what it's called, but all I know is I think it was the equivalent to like a hostel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not a UK hostel, like a hostel like...
Yeah, them New York ones, yeah.
But still hostel. Yeah, it was only one night, so we're there late, and we got suitcases on Flatbush Ave, 12:30 at night. So we were just like, yo, let's just find a place now because... You know what I'm saying? We're in Brooklyn, 12:30 at night with tourist luggage.
Yeah.
So like we got to a place, but still, it was just like a mad spot. But we was live after that. We went to Gun Hill, Bronx after that, and it was
cool. I just cranked, yeah.
And actually, I saw your uncle. The next time I went, we was in the same hotel.
Oh, okay.
As soon as I walked in the hotel, I went to his shop.
Yeah.
On the Friday, and then I caught the plane on Saturday, walked in the hotel, saw your uncle again.
yeah.
Next day in New York.
He used to go monthly them days, you know.
Yeah. He used to be like Manhattan sides a lot.
Oh, so you stopped in his hotel?
Yeah,
I've stopped. Yeah, I know that one. That one's good. That one's decent.
Yeah.
Okay, so things sound good, man. So the music's bubbling, shows are running, you're traveling. What happens next?
We do an Underworld album. We do a lot more shows. Yeah. We do a lot of stuff in like Europe. We do a lot of shows in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's like we're just eating off basically shows and things coming in. But it wasn't as fast as now.
Okay.
Like now times you just bang out beer stuff. It wasn't like you do an album a year and all that more now. It wasn't like that then. There's a lot more time passes. So we dropped an Underworld album after that. Done the whole Underworld tour again. I think it was more Fire Crew and who was Maxwell D with?
Pay As You Go.
Yeah. We done a few with Pay As You Go. Nah, wasn't Pay As You Go. Nah, you're right.
Yeah, he was Pay As You Go. Maxwell D, innit? So that's Wiley was with him as well.
Yeah, so we've done a few. Like we'll do a few mixed nights like that.
Yeah.
So we had a good rapport with like we were probably the only group that we didn't make grime or like cross over with grime, but we'll just be in the same kind of. We'll just be around certain man like Midlands Mafia. You know what I'm saying? We done a lot of stuff with them as well. They were on the Underworld album, so you know what I mean. If they wanted to do hip hop or whatever, you know what I mean. We'll work together, and we kind of kept that friendship. Even man like Bashi.
Okay.
Like certain man used to chat to him from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? People not in the scene, not in the hip hop scene. So I've never saw it like that. I always looked at it. If you're using the same studios as man and you're from the same culture as man and I can get on with you, then we can talk even if we don't have to do music together. Yeah.
It was more of a love thing.
Yeah, so I'm the same way with all the Birmingham grime artists.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've been on a lot of their stuff. To Sucks, Triller, like Sony, I've done features for all of them. Okay,
proper thing. So how did you, from when you actually started to how it's moving, because I want to get up to now, but not yet. So as you started, and you know, you have to, because who was I listening to? I was listening to the Diplomats interview. They done an interview, not the main three, of Hell Rel and them, man.
Yeah.
And they were saying that when you used to record in them days, it was you had to spend $1,000 to record because you needed to pump it. You had to buy these tape things and rare. So there was no marketing. It was hard. So how did you see it change to when social media started to come in?
Well, the first change was everything going digital because we used to be on ADATs. Like you had to record live time, and if you make a mistake, you have to just chop in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No click on the computer. That's when I first started. And then things changed. Like before you had to like book a place to just burn a CD at one point when I was young.
Yeah.
So then with the equipment, things changed with technology. So people could do more stuff like at home, building beats. So then you just record vocals in the studio. And then it became easier to record. People can set up their own studios and things like that. So it got easier that way, and more artists broke the mold. So it's like, even if an artist doesn't make the same music as me, but if he's from the same cultural standpoint, and the music is in the same world, him blowing helps me, even if I'm in other part of the country.
Okay.
So the Tiny Tempers, with all these kind of like these little things help. Going up to the gigs is, you know what I mean, help everybody. So for us, it was waiting for basically like certain Londoners to bust the door down as well.
Okay.
Because they've got the access, they've got the certain stuff there and it trickles down, and that's just a fact.
So upon preparation for the interview, I spoke to a couple of men from back in them days because I missed it just a little bit.
Yeah.
I come on the back end, But they were saying that a lot of reason why the UK hip hop never really took off the way it should have, because I don't even like to mention names, but certain men were spitting with a deep American accent.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? 'Cause I know you man didn't, but
actually, when we first like our first EP, you can, you know what I mean. But the words are English, like what we're saying.
Okay, yeah.
But then by the time it gets to like the album and all that, it's all different. But yeah, that was a thing for everybody.
What do you think the reason was for that, Malik? Because me, myself, I think that at the time there was no other example of...
There was no other example, so it's a thing where we had to learn ourselves. But I think I think it's the same with everything.
Yeah.
The same with like even LA rap, they sounded like New York, and the down south sounded like New York.
Yeah, at the start.
At first, before they found their sound. So that was a part of it, but that was still early on. It's about infrastructure. There was no labels and managers.
Yeah.
So you see the Biggie, when you think of Biggie, Pac, Jay, you'll think of, when you think of Biggie, Pac, Jay, you'll think of Suge Knight, you'll think of Puffy, and you'll think of Dame Dash.
Yeah.
So those people are important. So you see how we got people like, how we had Stay Fresh, where it was Jamie, Dread, and Despa.
Yeah, big up Stay Fresh.
Yeah, and what Despa's done and carried on doing.
Yeah.
So it's the Despas is as important as the actual JKs, the actual spitters.
Very important thing you just said there, Malik. That is what, when we used to be in the shop and rare, that was the number one thing we used to say, that the talent was here, but we didn't have the managers, the marketing teams. You know what I mean? And that's why I jumped into the DVD thing back then.
Yeah.
Because I used to remember watching the New York scene, and Smack was, man were blowing off Smack.
Yeah.
Not people don't, there was man that were making careers from Smack. Nicki Minaj came from Come Up DVD.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe if we can showcase our talent that way. But I think, and that's the next part I want to get to, I think that there was a lot of division here, fam. Yeah. And I know we got to be delicate how we talk about this, but it was a lot of division here, because even when I was making my DVD,
listen,
talk to me, fam. Talk to me.
I was in the middle of that division. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at some of our videos.
Yeah.
From silent screens to levels and things like that. So there was a division that we tried to toe the line on, because at the end of the day, especially a man like Cypher used to work at certain community centers. Yeah. From back in the day when different entities was all in the same place. Okay. So and I lived in a few different places in Birmingham. You know what I'm saying?
But how did you, man, navigate that? Because you know what though, Malik, I'm going to tell you the truth. I used to see both sides, but when I made my DVD, I was like, I just want to shine a light on the city. I put both. I put a division of, I put both, man, on the thing. And I got problems for that. But you, man, could be in one video or in a man never said nothing to you, man. How did you navigate that, fam?
Listen, I'm going to just be real. Like, nothing happened on a main scale, but all right then, of course that not everybody was happy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just that the certain important people that make decisions, they were cool.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear that. That makes sense, fam. Yeah. I used to say to myself, you one of the only setup man who could be in both places and never got no problems. That's a fact. I'm saying that.
As well, man ain't like, it depends how much you get. Like, I lived in Newtown as well. Okay. Around these times. Yeah. And it does depend how much you get into bed with, man, as so to speak. Yeah. I can imagine if I'm making if like me and a certain person's got a certain thing where we're making money together. Yeah. That could be a problem, because that's gonna start a bond that it's gonna be something else. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It wasn't, man's just cool and this and that, but we didn't have certain things together that would connect us and could cause something.
Okay, proper. So as far as your careers now, how did where the city was in terms of the division that was rampant back in them days, how did that affect you, man's actual career?
Yeah, it affected. It actually did.
Okay.
I didn't even realize this until looking back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of like, even if it's a rumor, or even if somebody doesn't know, like, is it? I don't know what is it. I don't know if it's the. I don't want to say the wrong publication, but there's a newspaper. Yeah, that's got a certain even writer that's been writing about like been happening in Birmingham streets.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for years. And they've kind of escalated certain things with their articles.
Okay.
There was a time when the Silent Screens video was taken down off MTV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's times when we was in the newspapers, and it's showing clips of our videos, and the whole article is about shootings. And you understand what I'm saying? So it can be messy when they've got an opportunity to mess your name up into anything or put you in a certain light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But MD7, at the end of the day, we were doing a lot of just our energy was good. That's why, you know what I mean? We walk with certain energy till now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't always been perfect, you know what I'm saying? Especially back in the day. But there's a certain energy we've walked with that kind of kept us okay. I would say that.
What I noticed is that when you man started to simmer down, I noticed that Cypher stopped. I seen him kind of doing other things. Jay kind of started doing other things, but you were still on it, fam.
Yeah.
Like you was on Charlie Slough. You were still doing bits and bobs. I still seen you like pushing new talent through. I seen you had an incentive, some Atlanta type, going to Atlanta or something. Yeah, I seen you were doing all of that. So did you say, you know what, I'm going to remain in the game looking for new talent and trying to push the city forward?
Yeah, to me, I just felt that I've kind of felt like it was my job from I first came out. From Silent Screams boss. Yeah. And in a certain way, I'm the first kind of like MD7 ain't the first group. Yeah. From Birmingham, but we're the first group. Having that video that come was the first group to be like, oh, who are these guys? Where are these man from? Yeah. We were the first to do that from Birmingham, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when I'd done Silent Screams, that was for Art Survival and as a group. And then when Silent Screams came out, like I was like the first kind of like, yo, have you heard this guy from Brum?
Okay, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was the first one of those. Don't get me wrong. Of course, different artists before me had that, but it was because of the video. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was more wide, where we made a big impact. We made a big impact at the time. You know what I mean? Like we were the hottest group in London, and that means the UK at the time. Okay, I hear that. There was a window where that was that.
Okay, I hear that. So bringing it into today, and you see now there's artists from Brum now who are able to feed their family from music. Yeah. And when you look back on that, I once asked a footballer that question. Like, you were doing the same thing as the players that play today. We're getting paid like a lot less.
Yeah.
So when you see what's going on today and you look at the scene now, do you sit back and say like, yo, I helped give birth to this? How do you look at it?
I kind of look at it like I'm happy that they can do what they're doing. Like my daughter's an artist herself. Wicked. So I'm like, there's something that I've even before she was born that I helped put in place. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or just helping the credibility of Birmingham artists, where you can be a Brum man and there's nothing behind it. Like a lot of cities in the UK don't have that.
Yeah.
Like Manny's only had it for only a certain amount of years.
Yeah.
With Bugsy and that.
Yeah.
Before that, it's like, you know what I mean? A lot of people could have that kind of attitude to a different city.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like helping the credibility of Birmingham artists, and MSI done it. We done it. When we're representing our city, right? When we go out, make sure nobody takes us for no dickheads or nothing. Yeah. And whatever we're dealing with, deal with it proper and make good kind of connections and have a good reputation.
Yeah.
They were important things to us.
Yeah, and I think you man done a good job, because I can say this on camera. I've never heard any of you man's name mixed up in nothing. I've never heard no viral moments that happened to you, man. And especially in them days, to navigate through the city like that, respect is due.
Respect.
You get what I'm saying?
Respect.
So
don't. There's things that's kind of there's little things that's happened behind the scenes and all that.
Yeah.
But I would say that like, you know what I mean. Not everybody liked us. We didn't do everything right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the same time, a lot of us wasn't fully out of certain street things all the way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So there's certain kind of people that was around with that kind of even put us in worse things at times. So, you know what I mean? But it's more about the energy, and man's came with a good, positive purpose. And from you come with that, like that lasts long.
Yeah.
Going to Atlanta, so I was there as a performer for the first couple of times. Yeah. Then I went South by Southwest as well. And even speaking about UK culture and being on panels.
Yeah.
So they started to use me for that. And then I started to do youth work in prisons, going to like youth prison secure units, talking to young people or making one-on-one sessions and things like that. And I realized that like all the things I've learned through music, through everything, through life, growing up, kind of, I can do a lot physically through doing those things as well. And it's gave me a good reputation to go into other avenues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that.
And get paid properly in the avenues for this day.
Okay. Yeah. So you get your right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm like, all right then, when I was rapping, the scene wasn't set up like that. So if I'm doing this, if I'm a consultant coming to speak to people about extremism, gangs, grooming, racism or anything like that, and I'm going out as a consultant for my history and the things I've learned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You pay me like
you weigh?
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Like that's how it's supposed to go, man's supposed to work and get paid.
So even if I couldn't benefit from all of it back in the day, we're benefiting now from the reputation from we done then.
And you know what, Malik? That's very important what you just said there. Because I seen you in a picture with Millions. He's doing his thing right now for Brum.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. And somebody told me something that I didn't really know who his mom is, fam.
Yeah.
And I know that his mom, although I don't personally know his mom, her name's been around from back in them days.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes you might be planting a seed for a tree that you're not going to see the shade in. And I feel like, Baby Millions could have seen his mom doing her thing.
Yeah.
And that could have been like, yo, mom, I've learned from you. I'm going to now do this.
Yeah.
And now, man, I'm reaping the benefits. So sometimes it's not about, you might be doing something and it might not blow right now. It might not blow in your lifetime.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, the big films that we watch, yeah. The people who wrote that film, was a book originally.
Yeah.
Done dead years ago.
Yeah.
Done dead. The comics, the comic movies, the stories, they're from
from grandparent days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like you can live. You know what I mean? You put creativity out there. You can live past your life. So I have to big up Major at this point because speak about Millions, like even his mum used Major Studio. I used Major Studio. A lot of people went through there. Millions was there a lot of the time, seeing what was going on. And look at Major's legacy as somebody in the community who, you know what I mean, his funeral, like, I know a lot of people his age who's accomplished in life. Yeah. Their funeral's like nowhere near that, and there's nowhere near the outpour, or you've got people half his age, you know what I mean, feeling a certain way. That's not related.
You know what, Malik? We all thought a second that, rest in peace, Major. Yeah, that was a brother who, even when I was learning about sound and stuff like that, my man would always take the time to listen.
Yeah.
And what I see in him is in his son, RM.
Yeah.
RM is like a genuine person. Like, I see what's in Major in him.
Yeah.
Like this, like my man literally got time for everyone. And I like that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, rest in peace,
that
Major.
legacy, like, that goes down differently. That goes down differently.
Yeah.
I know some people kind of Bentley'd off. Yeah. That if they could drop down tomorrow, that it's not going to be the same as what this man gave.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes you have to look at life differently.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that.
R.I.P. Major, definitely.
Yeah, man, every time. Do you work with any of these man now, even in an advisory role or anything like that?
Artist-wise?
Yeah.
There's a few artists I talk to, like, even if it's just to phone me up, pick my brains and whatnot. Yeah. So I'm still a big bro to different people, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I never really had too much big bros. Cypher, Major, and just not too many people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because after a while, people always like kind of have to get selfish to succeed in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where there's other people like Major didn't do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I want to carry on doing, that and kind of being a big bro to certain people.
So have you got an interest in, are you interested in like?
I'm interested in media and pushing the culture forward. So it doesn't have to necessarily be rapping on music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But putting together different things of the culture, especially TV and things like that, are more, not TV as on TV, but programs and programming. Yeah. And setting our narratives as Black British people.
Yes. Very important.
That's extremely important to me.
Very. Because it goes back, you know what, Malik, it goes back. This podcast was born from, the idea for this was born from 2011, the riots. Yeah. Me and you was on P. Wamano's documentary. You remember that? Yeah. We was on that. And at that time, what bothered me so much about them riots is there was no place to hear the real. There was no way you could go and listen to somebody who was talking like from a perspective of, because I was actually out there and everything that was being reported was fake news. And then no disrespect to the mans that I'm going to mention now, but when the people on TV would speak to Black people, it was always man like Dizzy Rascal, who didn't really, it wasn't fair to bring him in to speak from a political standpoint. And that's when I thought, you know what? There needs to be something. But at that time, podcasts weren't really a thing. Yeah. But we found our, you know what I mean? So what you're saying there, I completely understand.
And there's been a shift in UK Black culture in the way of, there's been a shift in the wanting more. And, you know what I mean? Before that, like me growing up in this country was very frustrating. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of like, because I was very into Jamaican and American culture and TV and music. Yeah. So if there's a show and it's like, and then we're like, oh, there's a Black guy in that show. And I'm like, one Black guy who's like a road sweeper. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was an achievement to some people, where to me it's like, that's dead. Where now we've kind of got that attitude, like who's writing this? Who's, you know what I mean? Yeah. We're looking at things as a 3D angle, politically, socially, you know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of just being invited or being accepted. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I hear that because I feel like after the George Floyd situation, there was a lot of companies that were like, yo, inclusion and rare. And I've always been a guy, like, Instead of me renting a room in a mansion, I'd rather own a small flat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that for the community to move forward, we have to think. You see who's on the wall here, fam?
Straight.
You know what I mean? We have to think like that moving forward. And I think that, you know, them days you're speaking of, like I said, I come on the back end of it.
Yeah.
It was either Jamaican culture with bashment, reggae, all that, or hip hop, all that stuff.
To me, it was for me, it was just like it was just Desmond's Real McCoy and there's a few little bits of groups and whatnot. Then we had until like grime and like our generation started off.
And it come true. So what type of things are you pleased with what you see today? Like things like me, I really like Top Boy, innit?
Yeah.
But not the crime side of it, you know. It paints a picture.
Yeah.
Especially the Netflix one, what Drake did.
Yeah.
So what type of thing do you like about what's happening today in today's culture?
I think what I like is I just like the way that there's new artists from different places just churning out stuff. There's more. There needs to be more in Birmingham. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we have got somewhere. We have got further than we were. We need more of a scene here, though. It can't be a thing where we just go, like, you get good here and go to London. And then, yeah. But I just love how not everybody's signed. Some people are independent. A lot of people have got their managers as their brethren. Yeah. Back in the day, you just had like some Elton John looking geezer as your manager. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now I feel things are more in-house. We make the music that we want to make. Yeah. That's probably the main thing. Like we make the music we want to make. We actually make, not all of it I like. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Sometimes I think Wavy is lazy, and sometimes I think some of the I'm into drill. Yeah. But I listen to it a lot in the gym or in places where I need to get energy. So if I was young and that was out, I don't know what I'll do with that energy. So
yeah, it's you know what it is, Malik. That it's mad that you bring up drill, you know, because I used to come on here and like going hard on the youths about the drill thing, because you know I was seeing a lot of these like this youth get stabbed like the youth the other day, and a lot of it like a lot of men walk around with anger, but when I've really gone back to the where drill come from, which is Chicago, fam, it's one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
I want drill to be more of a sound. More of a sound and a style of music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So big up Mr. Alan Arden. He's done like Sacred Drill, he's got a tune, Grand Rising. Yeah. So he's got a certain tune that's like drill sounding, but it doesn't have to be chinging. So I want more of the sound of drill. I love the sound of it, the energy of it. But you know what I mean? The constant violence, it is what it is, you know what I mean? I've been listening to drill since Little Jojo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've seen the same things happening like in Brooklyn. I got a few people out there in Brooklyn and it's like, yo, the GDs, the Gangster Disciples and the Crips out there, like it's getting a thing. The only reason I still see drill a little different is because they use YouTube to communicate, and you know what I mean, where it wasn't so much a thing before.
The only thing I don't like about that though, and don't get twisted, YouTube, it's a beautiful platform. You know, it's opened up everyone's creativity, but I feel like I'll be watching FBG because I think he was the hardest from that scene, and I'll put on one of his videos and it's got ads on, fam. But the man's talking about people that have been killed. But then if, like the other day when it was Steven's birthday, we played 50 Cent in the club. Fam, before the video even uploaded, they flagged it. Before it even finished uploading. But these men are basically talking about, yo, this man here, F this man's dead, you know? And I'm like, how are you getting ads on that stuff? So I would love YouTube to look at that. Definitely. A bit more.
Yeah.
Because these videos have got all 5 million, 10 million views. You get what I'm saying?
Because regardless, the music's gonna happen. People are gonna say what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and people have got the right to express themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
The God-given right to express themselves. But like, if YouTube's helping them, and it's just about the sending messages to apps through YouTube.
That needs to stop.
Yeah, that's my main problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Outside of that, it could work.
Yeah, because it is what it is. It is an expression, but that there, it's kind of, you know what I mean? It makes the time less on it. It makes it more urgent.
But you know what it is, Malik? Why it bothers me so much is that these men are talented. So when are we watching, like, you heard of Shooter Shells?
No, not yet.
He's died now. Okay. But that's BB and Herbo's ops.
Yeah.
Brother's talented, fam. The brothers can rap, the beats, everything, the videos. And he made of this 3 days after. Fam, his picture is that bad. The picture's that bad that just even Googling it to look at it will make man know that, like, they gave him like 18 to the face. After that, this song. And I'm saying, how are YouTube still allowed to allow this stuff to have a lane?
Listen, if I was YouTube, I'll be like, yo, even man like I'll be like, yo, you make a little Reese this song. We taking it off.
Yeah.
For your own safety.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, corporate companies, it's like, that's the bitter and sweet. See, especially them big companies. Like, all right then, an American record label in the 90s, so if you had a group and they were talking about some black radicalism, they'll still sign it. Because like, yo, that's selling, that making money.
Yeah.
I'll sign that. Like, the greed comes over, you know what I mean?
The morals.
Yeah. So even if it goes against what they believe, they'll still be like, yo, these man's making money. Well, let's push it. Yeah. So it's the same on the other end where they're like, yo, these mans are talking about this and that, but they're still making money. Let's do it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the business it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean.
I hear that. It's sad but true.
Sad but
true.
I'm saying. For real.
So what else is going on, fam?
Right now, I'm on I basically work. Right now at this point, got a few projects in the works, media wise.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's more like documentary, culture, and history type.
Okay.
Because my problem with UK culture is, if I tell as 10 man, write down ideas for films, and they'll come to me, most of them are going to be here and now.
Yeah.
They can't put themselves in their dad's shoes or their granddad's shoes, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where in States, there's a constant timeline. I'm going to go home and watch Raising Kanan, that's set in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch Godfather Harlem, that's set in the 60s. But it's the same story, just a different part of the timeline.
Yeah, facts.
So they're pulling from different parts and different areas. Oh, LA crack era, 70s this.
Snowfall.
Yeah, you can pull from different places, in different eras, where we need to be able to understand how we would have lived, looked and dressed and stalked in 1985 or 1975 in the same places we are. In the same ends.
So basically what you're saying is the same, like a man in Queens can say, yo, I can watch a program looking at how my dad and them would have did it. And it's like 50's doing the BMF thing now.
Yeah.
You get me? So the BMF thing.
And that's Detroit. So there's going to be enough Detroit kind of stuff in there where there's enough Queen stuff in there. Right? So they'll actually make it regional to the time.
Yeah.
And there's you know what I mean? There's cultures within cultures. And that's all here. But we need to flesh it out.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like when I go to States, there's a guy named Vanley Burke, photographer from Birmingham, and he's took pictures since the Windrush till now.
Wow.
Yeah? So he's got pictures of the Handsworth riots, protests in the 70s, different funerals, gang funerals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the different stages. Yeah.
Yeah.
I walk with his book that's got all photos in.
Yeah.
And when I go Atlanta, Canada, and whatnot, yeah, I show them that book. And after they look at that and they see what my dad looked like and what my uncles went through in the 80s and what the carnivals looked like and all that, until now, they look at me different because the narrative's set.
Yeah.
I'm not just out of a vacuum.
That's a very important jewel you just dropped there, you know. Because you know what bothers me? When I've been growing up here, I went Saturday school around the corner from here. You know what I mean? I've grew up through this system. I was at Lazaro's play schemes and all that. And I remember every time we were celebrating like black culture, it was never nobody who had lived and breathed here that grew up here. It was always like, and don't get me wrong, these brothers are legendary.
Yeah, it's always Jamaican or American.
Always. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus, even though I love these man too.
Yes, 100%.
See what I mean? But I was saying, well, Dad, where's the man from here?
Yeah.
Where's the brother from here?
Even if he didn't accomplish even half of it, we still want to know what he accomplished and who he is.
I hear that. And I know BBC tried to do some show.
Yeah.
But I think it was more like what's it called, Stephen? When it's like not real.
The small acts.
Yeah. It wasn't like real.
Yeah. I think what I heard about that is because the director ain't really lived it. So I don't know. But I saw some good parts in it. It's a good start.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because we're coming from a desert, media-wise, TV-wise, it's a black desert.
Yeah.
For TV-wise, where I can go to an audition and they're like, you might be a road sweeper in our show, and I'll go to an audition in America, same way, dressed the same. It's like, oh, you're going to be the head of the FBI.
Yeah.
Come on, family affairs to string a bell. Like, the what's the name is too vast. So it's like, we need, so the small axes and things like that is a good way forward. I do think that world of the terrestrial TV in Britain, I think we were in the 60s. We're like in the 60s.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, we was better off when Desmond's and the Real McCoy was out.
Because you know what it did, Malik? It brought like a community spirit, which I think we've lost.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm very much thinking that in order to, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying about London, because London are doing well right now, but I want to see the scene. Like, you know what here? Actors, personalities, rappers, photographer. But it's like, I met a brother back in the day. This is one of the early mans who started to bubble in our scene, yeah? And I had a convo with him and I asked him a question. I said, yo, what advice could you give to me? And he goes, fam, you have to leave. And I'm not going to lie, I felt sad because I'm like, yo, everything's here for me. Work, home, family. Why I got to leave from here to do it? And he's like, yo,
there's no infrastructure.
You can't, there's nothing here.
All the groups when New York had it, like early 90s, or early 80s to early 90s, all them groups, even if you're from New Jersey or surrounding, if you're from the East Coast, you have to go to New York City. You're traveling to New York City a lot. Yeah. And you have to travel to New York City. Same with, so when LA bust, like Compton and that, like NWA, Ruthless Records and that. Yeah. So you got people like Exhibit, people like Corrupt, he's from Philadelphia. Yeah. DOC's from Texas. These people from different places, but they know the hub is in LA. Okay. There's studios, there's this and that, and they can get it cracking from there. Same way if you're an actor, you go to Hollywood. So and now people in the South, Atlanta's the hub. Like there's a hub in Memphis. At one time, New Orleans was a hub. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like we have to create the buildings. There has to be like buildings where you can walk in and meet people who do stuff.
And I feel like networking too. Like a man can't be shy to say, yo, I'm gonna holler Malik to do this. A man can't look at ego because there's a lot of men acting off of there's a lot of ego. And I'm saying that even if it don't happen in my lifetime, I want to see the day where a man can grow in Brom, become successful in Brom and live in Brom.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna take more now it's gonna take more people like Despa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More people like yourselves being there, more platforms.
Yeah.
Because it has to be a thing where, like, what I can do in London in like a week, it would take me. It was stretched out to a month over here.
We went to London. I was managing an artist, in 2009. Yeah, he's come back now. Yeah, he's come back, and I was managing him, and we went to London for one day. And we went London. Badness is from Brom, so we shouted Badness to we come in London. Badness is like safe. Gone straight to Badness's yard. He's jumped in the whip. Straight to Gets. At this time, Gets is with Kano and all that. Straight to Gets, fam. And we spent the day with them, man. You see what I mean? Like literally, like we just running around like all these artists and that. And I'm saying, wow, it's different, yeah. Like the setup's different.
Yeah, because they got the infrastructure there, so the buildings are there as well. So it's like, it's there. So here, people are just living. People are just here to live, and there's no magazine to go to. So I remember when Channel U was popping, Channel AKA.
Yeah.
I remember if you had a video up there, you could drop it there, but a lot of times, man would just go there, and you just spend the day there chatting to them. Different artists will pass in. You know what I'm saying? And just being there, you're chatting to people, you're there for the day, you've met a few artists that you probably want to meet. Like just being there for the day though, your video's getting played a bit more.
Yeah.
You've had beer conversations, you've had a couple together, you had a little smoke around the back. You know what I'm saying? You've built up the rapport.
Yeah.
Then just sending the video in and just being here. So it's kind of about being in London. I remember when Mike JLC said back in the day, yo, if Ono Bromans come, like Seth, at one time, he was kind of getting there. Like all the groups just said, we're going to go down for like 2 weeks in summer and just go to all the dances, go to everything. And they're just like, yo, there's 20 Bromman in here.
Yeah.
And that's just a thing for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
And everybody's doing their linking different artists, going to different studios and doing their collabs and doing stuff and doing videos and record. Like in that 2 weeks, you'll make an impact. You'll leave a trail in that 2 weeks.
The only thing is like
if you come back, what I'm saying is you can still come back, but you need to have that thing in the hub where you can just it's quick, where we've got some kind of it ain't just all here.
The perception of Brom, man, was that we fire starters, we go places. So let's say certain gang man will go into dances and then mashing up dances.
Yeah.
Man would just be like, Brom, man, like, yo.
No. We're talking about all the artists going and being like, we're gonna be in London for this month.
But look at that GLC moment, though, Malik.
What's that?
When GLC brought them man up there, and friggin' with the game, with the game. You remember? GLC, what them slash man up there?
Yeah.
I remember it kicked off.
Yeah.
And then it was like, yo, them Brom man tried it with game, but then what I'm saying is those situations have a long lasting. Them situations stay with. So when like a next man from Brom is unknown,
but to tell the truth, it has hindered Brom in a way where they'll come to do stuff here. Like even what happened with at the One Extra thing with Crep and all that. All these things like pile on, you know.
Yeah.
But to tell the truth, we was going on an industry flex to be like, we're not even gonna go for that. But to tell the truth, it ain't so much that when Brom man go London.
Okay.
It's not so much that. Because London mans are more trying to be like, if Brom man's coming for us, London man are more trying to be man want to be cool with, man, and then start beef.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think Mike GLC said, something like that. Like, you'll make your presence in that city, and there'll be loads of vocals on studios throughout the city. You know what I mean? We would have touched a lot of places, and it would have left something more in the city and kind of cemented us closer.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I hear that. He was right as well. Still.
You know what I'm saying?
He was the next man that was kind of... GLC was before his time.
Very much before his time. He was in Bristol all the time, linking man in this city, in that city. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, like I like man like Jim Jones or something like that in the Smack DVD era.
Yeah.
We're just being different cities with different man.
Yeah, he was patched in still.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? That's how Mike was doing.
I used to see him outside Bullring shutting CDs. I linked him one time in London. I was with Cypher actually. Linked him with Cypher one time. Next thing I see my man freaking with what's that N-Dubs girl? The X Factor girl. I'm like, wow, this brother's all over. So yeah, man, I hear that. So Malik, anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
I just want to say that I ain't done with the music. I'm still gonna drop another project or two. You know what I'm saying? I got something cooking with few good producers. Yeah. At the moment, professionally, apart from doing, I've got the media. I've got different media things in place coming. Yeah. I'm doing a big thing around the country. Like, I'll start from next month, and every week for 1 or 2 days, I'm in a city: Liverpool, Cardiff, Manchester, mostly in London, and like Liverpool and Manny. But I'm speaking to youths, you know what I'm saying, at-risk youths, about grooming, you know what I'm saying, about gang involvement, about everything like that. And it's not just me. I work with St. Giles Trust. I work with a company called Connect Futures at the moment, and St. Giles Trust, who employ, you know what I'm saying, ex-gang members, people who have made the news, basically, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. On a real thing, we really drop it to the youths. Like, this is probably the most, like, we'll have a hall of 500 youths, and we'll tell the teachers to go, and we're giving it into the real, give them stuff that, like, we've never even, we've only come to the realization ourselves later on in life. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of all sit together and think of ideas and things that we've been through and nuances that people don't tell you. Yeah. People don't tell you to, like, yo, if you're out there as a teenager and you get butterflies in your stomach, yo, walk a different way, or it could be something. Something could be off. Like, I've never been told that. I've never been told, yo, if you live in an area and your area's kind of gang, you're going to be cool with certain people. Yeah. I didn't know that I could firms people and be like, oh, well, go on, you're cool, and leave it there. I didn't know I could do that. I thought I had to be standing with them a bit too much. That got me into trouble. I mean, I've been, you know what I mean? I've been stabbed on different occasions. Because of association.
Okay,
so, you know what I mean? All these little things that I didn't know that, you know what I mean? We had to kind of calculate and put in a real way that hits them hard, and formulate a way. It's like I'm performing when I do that. I'm straight performing when I do that. You know what I'm saying? And we go there with certain man who could have done 10, 15 in jail, could have killed somebody when they were in their teenagers, when they was at school. You know what I'm saying? You hear about a youth stabbing a youth and then the youth dying. So what happens to those youths? When they grow up and come out, we want to bring that youth in school and be like, yo, I had an argument with the youth, juked him in his leg. I got a phone call saying you killed him. Like, when the youths hear that how easy that could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, certain pennies has to drop. So don't, I mean, a lot of us are not meant to be in this. A lot of us are creatives and professors and this and that. And we're not even supposed to be meant to be into this. You know what I'm saying? So we just want to give people the real, like, consequences of the thing and saying, if you want to do the thing, do it. But here's some of the things that, you know what I mean, you're going to see.
It's the theory of the multiverse, fam. I don't know how much you're into Marvel and that. Into Marvel?
I am.
You watch What If?
Yes.
You've seen the Strange
I'm all
One?
about that. Fam, there's cars that I come out of.
Yeah.
That if I stayed in the car for 5 minutes,
yeah,
my whole life trajectory would have been different.
Yeah,
I would have gone to jail for about 2 or 3 years because of the work that was in the car.
Yeah.
I would have made certain friends in jail that would have loved me off. Like, that's man them. And then every time I've had money problems, I know the plug now, and I'm going to them, and they're gonna give me certain things I'll have certain drug opportunities.
Yeah.
That every time I get broke or certain bad things happen, I'll probably go to those people, and that would change the trajectory of my life. I'll probably not be scared of jail. All of those things from just being in a car for 5 more minutes.
This is why I say that multiverse theory, I'm very much in tune with that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of youths that I've met who just after a conversation, I'm like, yo, this brother could have been anything. Like he could have been a lawyer, a doctor, had his own business, but he's made a decision somewhere. And that's why I think that a lot of these youth groups in the city and stuff like what you're doing, if we can get to them before and show them like the reality of the situation.
That's what we do from 10 years old, because from 10 years old, you can get arrested.
Yeah.
So we tell them, yo, that's an important age.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of even internet online kind of grooming for not just for gangs, just for, like anybody having any kind of problems in life, or they're anxious or whatever, or they just got vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
There's people who just out there just specifically looking for youths to traffic for drugs, sexually, or just I'm going to find a youth that I can send certain things to his yard that he's going to give to somebody. Yeah. That simple thing, he's going to give to somebody on the way to school, where it could be anything in there. Yeah. Like there's actively people on the internet doing that every day, and it's growing. So yeah, I'm until for the next 6 months, I'm gonna be up and down the country drilling that into youth heads about these different things. So that's my mission at the minute. And to me, it's the same as being an artist. I've got something I believe in that I want to say. Yeah, and I've got my own narrative on it. It ain't somebody else's.
Yeah. And
I travel, I stay in hotels, wake up, and I'm performing in front of people.
Yeah.
And I get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's about the transferable skills. So never forget your transferable skills.
Yeah, exactly. So Malik.
Yo, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming in.
Every time,
for real, man. And hopefully we can sit down again. Some point in the future, and we
talk about other like Sha'Carri, Richardson, and
all that stuff. We get into everything. We get into everything.
I don't mind, man. Yeah.
All right, then Malik. Good luck in the future.
Yo, salute, man.
Take it easy, fam. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to say salute to all my people. Salute, Cypher and Jay, Jawar, Black Diamond. Yeah, salute.
Yeah, man. Big up. Yeah.
Peace.
Respect.